What it does is it invokes a chemical organization. Now, the human being, because of its difference in the brain organization, it has a capacity, what we call is information processing. It processes information slightly differently than animal, because animal has very short, what you call the remembrance present. The human being, for some reason, this capacity enhanced. You have a larger remembrance present, and this larger remembrance present created a permanent so-called entity. Now, how it functions? There is no such thing as spirit minus the matter. Matter means the chemical organization has to be responsible for every single word, every single thought, every single thing has a one-to-one correspondence in the brain chemistry. Every single thing. That's why thought is also matter in that way. It is a chemical organization and its movement that created thought. Okay. So now in doing so, what it does is this information processing also creates, just because it can create a future which is fictitious, you know that nobody can know future. It is impossible because it doesn't exist in the way the animal world moves. Animal world moves in a very different way. It finds a challenge, it gives everything it has to overcome the challenge or retreat. That is how every step of the way it moves. So it doesn't have the future. Future is just a model that is created in human head. But the information, when it works in the body, it uses the same chemical repertoire and organization the way I am afraid of the stimulus and response of life. If a snake tries to attack me, if a tiger tries to attack me, my body has to respond. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. It is a very primary important thing. Now, in doing so, the same thing, if somebody says tomorrow you are going to die, the same information uses the same chemical repertoire to create a fearful situation. You see? But it is false, because the false is because it created a future which doesn't exist. So it is in terms of a myth. So the mind that we have, it creates constantly a myth, a mythical future. So that's why the mind itself is a myth. But practically what it is doing is, it is a myth-making machine. We want to create a myth. We are not satisfied by thinking that Yuji was just an ordinary man like us. We are not happy about that. But that is what I felt to my core, that is what he was telling me all the time. And telling everybody all the time. That there is nothing that I have that you don't have. And which is the truth, the fundamental truth, the basic truth. And it cannot be any other way. Because nature is not created by our ideas. Idea came much later. And the nature which is now operational in the form of life everywhere is far, far superior and way back in its construction. So what gives an idea of a man whose thought itself is not controlling anything inside will do anything to other? It is impossible. It is you and you alone. You do not even know. If you close your eyes, you are not in touch with anything that is going on there. You can call it Brahman, because you can never be. It is only through the knowledge that you know that you have a brain, you have a neuron, you have this, you have that. Doctors told this, you, as you know yourself, are never in touch with this body. That is, and you know this also, if something happens to this body, the one who thinks is going to go for the good.
No, but when Yuji said that, I am just ordinary.
Yes.
Just like you.
Just like all of us.
We don't know how you are functioning.
I don't have to know.
No.
I don't have to know. It is a simple thing.
It is.
I do not know myself with all my effort. When something was going on in me, with all my effort, I wanted to know what is going on in me. I never was in touch with what the hell I will imagine about what is going on in UG. Tell me. I myself do not ever know.
That statement makes no difference.
Exactly.
Saying that I am the same as you, it is if I think what I think.
No, that means it is a meaningless thing as far as I am concerned, because I am unable to be in touch with what I know myself as what goes on inside me.
Impossible. You can never be touched with that.
So
It is-
what gives me any idea that I want to be like somebody? Tell me.
Yeah.
Isn't it
It is
totally
only
fictitious
to-
and false?
It is only to throw that kind of light on that it is impossible to be in touch with anything.
Actually, if you go, what you're saying,
Because you're already in touch with that.
Not, you don't need to. You don't need to.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't need to. You are you.
No, you have given a long explanation. If 2 words is enough. There is no entity. That's all.
Exactly.
So why give a long explanation?
No,
Not required.
because it the information also is somehow working inside you the way the body wants to protect itself.
But who
That is
cares
the
for
problem.
that?
You don't have to.
But who cares for that?
If you don't care,
Yeah.
then it is all simple.
That's what it is.
Then
But if you give an
this-
explanation to it,
No, but why
then
I'm
it
giving
becomes more
explan-
complicated.
No, why am the thing that appreciates something else in somebody else?
That's
You
their
understand?
problem. If somebody
Exactly.
appreciates
Then
something,
there is nothing. Then there is nothing.
so then from that parlance, I do not even know, and I don't even have, my thought does not even have any inkling as to how my heart is beating.
there is no your thought.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as
Okay.
your thought.
No, that's fine. Thought cannot even touch your own heartbeat. This organism heartbeat, so how can we touch anything else?
Yes.
The breath itself, we don't know, it's automatic.
Yeah.
So the organism is far more intelligent because nature has produced it billions of years ago.
Yeah.
And we, the thought interloper, is aggrandizing somebody else by just a projection. It's an imaginative, it's imaginative reality. UG also becomes a myth when UG is not there.
Yes.
He's a myth.
But that you are telling now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not 40 years back or 30 years back.
No, because
So because you have gathered information and you are telling
yes,
now.
but Ram, as far as you are concerned, right now, if you are sitting next to me, you are real. If Kamal is real, Ram is also real. But these bodies are very much real, no? They are surviving in this physical world.
It has a reality of its own.
Agreed, sir.
I have no way to comment on that.
No, there is no need to
That's
comment.
what.
There is no need to comment.
That's it.
There is no need.
There is no need to comment. The matter ends there. What was the most important thing was we all had food because the body needed that. That was the main thing. The
No,
energy
but,
transport.
what Chandrasekhar sir
Yes.
was telling,
Yes.
that there is no way that you can touch that.
No
If
way.
it has to touch, it touches itself.
Yes.
That's what he was telling.
Other days meeting discussions that went on and still go on regarding in the Vedantic text and Vedantic lines. Theoretically, hair splitting, the thinking, understanding, trying to understand the one which cannot be understood. What is it? That is no different from you are telling that this is the whole thing is the biology and these neurons are acting. You are not in touch with any of those things. You don't know
Yes.
anything.
Then
Just
why
like that.
discuss? Then why
So you
discuss?
see,
That
the,
is both will be-
no, but you see the difference. The difference is if somebody comes and tells me, to hell with your neurons, I don't care. But if they tell to hell with your God, why do you care?
Nobody.
No, nobody cares.
Exactly.
Yeah, nobody
God is an
cares
idea.
for that.
God is an idea.
Who cares? That is what I was telling, that this is how we discuss, we say brush aside that these are all not to be discussed and discuss about something very much inside us we don't know.
No, how can you discuss that? Might
The
as
same
well,
thing.
might as well
Brahman,
do
how-
money.
How can we discuss anything?
No, you don't. But
Discuss-
however,
Not
however,
anything.
however, listen.
Yeah.
This brain works with a logic, by the way, and this is human logic. According to human logic, if you proceed, means scientific discovery. Like if you look at the world and if you try to understand how it is working, you will come up to certain very systematic finding, and that is independent of language, independent of culture, independent of religion, independent of anything, and that
Do you say that is a qualitative difference between this and that?
absolutely. If
Difference?
there is no the
There-
out
I
no
don't see-
I'm telling outcome of this systematic finding, the way the world is working, is called science, and that will be same.
No,
That will be same
then
any
that
part
science-
of the religion.
I can say that science exists even in the other field also.
What field?
You are
What
right.
field?
people who talked about Brahman.
No,
and,
no.
There are.
They know.
their
They
logic,
know.
They
They
have
are.
also built up logic. No, you don't know that.
I know. I read it very systematically. I tried to find out. They
There
always
are-
go.
There is a logic. There is a system.
There is a system, there is a logic
There is
which
a
is
method.
not as powerful as the modern philosophical logic,
No,
sir.
even-
I
that's what
know
I'm
that.
saying. That is what I'm asking. Do you think that it has got a qualitative difference? No difference, sir.
No, there is
It is
difference.
exactly the same.
No.
All
They-
the thought structure they have built is, these people have no match to that.
No. It is
Those people
no,
have built such a
No.
tremendous thought.
no, that you are just telling. But
No, it's not
no,
telling.
You if you read
It is
Wittgenstein, if you read Wittgenstein, or if you read any philosophical essays, you will see this logic is far superior than the logic that we had. What they did, listen, what they did, they up to see the logic always extend up to where the scientific information is supplied. Okay, scientific information is a building block of furthering of the logic. Okay, it is a very important thing. And so at that time they didn't have all this information that the modern scientists and biologists have to further the logic that the brain scientists are producing to see how it is working inside. Okay, so they are very different. At that time it was not handy, but what they did is very systematically different, is that they wanted to find what happens when you come to the end of that logical explanation. If you come to the end of the logic where your inquiry is not going anywhere else, logically you can't explain. There are certain things also in the world of consciousness that the logic ends there. For example, I will tell you a simple example. We still don't know how the movements of electrochemical forces and other biological forces, we know that it is creating consciousness. We know only that much. There is no one-to-one correspondence. But how it is producing, we don't know. Just the neurons are moving and the seamless world is appearing in front of the eyes. These both are fact. Okay? Now, how it is this fact is created, that we don't know. So, there seems to be end of logic in that sense. Similarly, everywhere, so what they want to do, they want to find out who is the thinker. First, they try to logically, okay, what happens if you don't think? What happens if you don't think? What happens if thought subsides? What happens if thought merges? What happens in Laya Avastha comes? What happens? How it affects the body? Because thinking is a systematic production of energy that is required. If that production of energy somehow is not drained anymore, is there any biological impact of the body? And they found there is, because by thinking you can just get frozen, you can be afraid, your heart palpitation will go terrible, so many things can happen. So even the thought has a very systematic effect on the physical changes, okay, that can occur. Suddenly by thinking you can just begin to faint or get very elated or so many things, because it has direct effect on there. So they wanted to find out what happens if the systematically one can reduce this kind of drainage of energy that is required by constant thinking. Okay, what happens to the body? What happens to the state? So they want to find out, because they can find out logically what happens. So they begin to see that there may be a radical transformation involved in such process. Okay, because it looks like that there is some triggering mechanism can occur and something will happen to the physical organism, and physical organism will show some sign of that process. Okay, it's a process. So what happened is this thinker, where it exists, how it exists, what it does, if the question is put back there may be a different mechanism begins. Okay, which is very different from.
There may not be also.
There may not be, but it looked like that there is a very systematic physical effect. Very systematic physical effect.
Babaji, the whole attempt is like in a big haystack, you are searching for a needle.
Yeah, the searching wouldn't go.
Searching with a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, but sometimes somebody hit up on that.
By
If
a
you
needle.
say there is a needle.
Yuji himself said he didn't give any credence to the scientific thinking, scientific assertions and whatever they have coming to. It's a today
No,
they said that tomorrow they
No,
will change. But
tomorrow,
the
yes,
logic
it is
will
constantly changing because that is how it is.
There were thousands of years, there were Nayayikas who have initiated in logics, different styles of it, different sets of it, different schools of it. We have no idea.
No,
the
idea.
breadth
Look,
of those-
if that idea, listen, if that idea
It is
would
there.
have a very systematic output that is so important that can defeat the logic that these
That-
modern logics are
that
creating.
has failed to bring about any effect, as you say. that
Yeah.
To get
No, what I'm saying
This-
is, no, even in the
you
thinking
are-
world, even in the thinking world, the people, when you think there is a goal, by the way, without goal, the thinking cannot proceed.
No, it can.
It cannot.
No, you think and the acting is going together, there is no goal
thinking,
there.
no, but the logical thinking, like you want to find out the nature of reality. You want to find out how it is working. Then you want to find out what is that is making you think. You want to find out. That is the logic. So, the logical thinking is, the philosophical thinkings are logical. Up to because until they create, without logical thinking, there cannot be any science. There cannot be any science.
Logic can go only up to certain extent.
Up to certain extent,
But beyond, but thought can go beyond logic.
No.
Because thought is there all the time. You only get involved into it. That's all.
No, but if thought can go, if you are not involved, that is not going to register anything.
It's
So
okay.
you don't know. You say you don't know.
Yeah, but why you have to know about it?
No,
Like
no.
he is telling,
No. What
some
you-
thousands and thousands of years things
Yeah.
have happened.
Yeah.
I will tell you what you have gone through with UG. After thousands of years, UGs, you will not talk about it, right?
No,
Or you will keep talking about it,
No,
just
no.
like he is referring.
There is nothing to talk about.
That's what he is talking now.
Yeah. No, but what he is telling is the philosophical school that they produced a logic, the school that here also are constantly using that same. If you go to philosophy school, modern philosophy, if you take
That
a
is
course in modern
replaced
philosophy,
with the
it is
scientific
not.
schools.
So it is not replaced because it is producing
The
something.
goal is same. The goal is same.
What is the goal?
The goal is to find out the end of the logic.
No. No.
You are come to the tether of the
No,
text
to
and
find out that there is anything that we don't know can be known.
that is what I am telling.
Yeah.
Same thing they have applied for that. That was the goal for them also.
Yeah. So
they have-
that goal has produced up to certain amount of logic to them. Now these modern philosophers, they are not dead. They are still there. They are writing papers.
Hope.
They are analyzing.
Hoping after hope
Hope.
that this will be a better proper method.
No,
than
this
the-
will bring about more understanding about nature.
Other than the hope.
No,
I don't see any-
but you can say that we have learned how to split atom, okay, scientifically. That time it hoped, they now do. You wanted to go to moon, but now they can go to moon. What I'm saying is that scientific reality constantly. At that time, if there is a brain tumor, they will die. Now they take it out because they learned the intricate mechanism that is involved in keeping this body alive.
that is the-
That is there. That is
Testing.
constantly there. There was a time when if the baby is prematurely born, it's dead. Now they make it systematically, they keep them alive.
That's right. Beautiful.
Ultimately, what happens?
Neonatal.
I'm not talking about what I'm saying that
you are prolonging what has to be ended in its own natural way in 100 years. 200 years.
that's a
prolonged.
matter. That's a matter.
Beyond
That's
that,
a matter of.
yeah.
That's a matter
Is
of
there a
social
total conquering?
conquering of what?
Conquering the see, for example.
Conquering of what?
For the ending. Is there a
No,
science
there is
can-
no
can-
such.
can
There
science
is no
find
such
out-
thing. There is
can
no such.
science-
This body, as the body, wants to be alive.
Can the body?
Listen, listen. But it does not. All it does is it gives all it has. That's it. After that, it's beyond itself. So that is now this desire is perpetuated in the form of information which wants to know not only just I am alive, I have to be healthy too. It gives that is the
Not only healthy but wealthy too.
That is the most, sir. With logic, you
Yeah.
can attain that well.
Yes.
But this, what he was saying, thought goes beyond logic. How do you know?
Thought, see.
How do you know?
No, why should I know?
There is no
That's all.
But then
it
it
is
is
a
a
immaterial thing.
Immaterial thing.
Exactly.
That's why
The point of telling that
That's
what
why
can
they
go
say,
beyond
no,
logic
best
is
course
no-
is just shut up.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's what you used to always say.